Hey guys, it's your boy Billy here, and today I am really super excited because I finally got my my copy of the collected edition of DC Meets the Looney Tunes. So I am super excited to start reading this, and I have collected two of the previous issues before they collected it all into one big book, and that was the Jonah Hex meets Yosemite Sam and the Wonder Woman meets the Tasmanian Devil. And I have to say, this is a great crossover series. I am extremely excited to read the Batman meets Elmer Fudd one, which I've heard is really, really good. And this makes me super excited because as a kid, I grew up on the Looney Tunes and I absolutely loved watching all those cartoon shorts constantly, especially when Cartoon Network was a really good network for watching quality cartoons in kids' television. Unfortunately, today, it's kind of starting to try and get back its former glory, but I don't know. I think it still has a long way to go and it still isn't nowhere near as good as it used to be. So anyway, this book cost me $20 at my local comic book shop, so it's not too good. And for the price, you get a good sized book, as you can see. You know, some books can range from like $20 to $24 at the size, sometimes even less paper you get. So I think for the price that it is, it's definitely a good deal when you compare it to some other books that cost even more. So yeah, I highly recommend getting this book, and I think this series was a definite smart move by DC, and I hope that in the future that they begin to use more of their properties, since DC being owned by Warner Brothers and Time Warner owns Hanna-Barbera and many other classic cartoons. So yes, I do indeed hope that we can see more of these crossovers in the future. And what makes it great is that these crossovers were very unconventional. Like, you don't really expect these types of characters to meet in a story, since, you know, DC tends to be a lot more serious compared to the wackiness of the Looney Tunes. So these crossovers were surprisingly good. And yeah, I hope in the future they try something new. Now, what would be really awesome is if we had a series like, I don't know, the Wildcats, which is a show I watched constantly as a kid and was an amazing cartoon when it was running. Or we could have something like, I don't know, there's just so many ideas. Like, you could have like a Dexter's Laboratory meets the DC Universe crossover series. Like, that would be really great. You could have like Dexter, you know, team up with like the Atom or Barry Allen or some of the more genius level characters in the DC Universe, which would be really awesome. Yeah, it's just, you know, the possibilities are just infinite when it comes to crossovers like these. So if you can't guess, I am a huge fan of crossover series when it comes to comic books, especially when it's publishing a company that I really like DC. So yes, I was super excited for this when I first heard about it because, you know, it combined two things I love, which are DC Comics and the Looney Tunes. So it was a real great blast from the past. And one of the things I like about these Looney Tunes crossover comics is that they have the main story, which is drawn in a DC style. So you get to see characters who are done in the DC art style, and then you also get a side story, like a little tiny story that features the DC characters drawn in the Looney Tunes styles. So it is a pretty good, you get to see both, which I think is really great because it offers a pretty, you know, funny experience for people who are, say, more fans of the Looney Tunes rather than DC, and fans who are more fans of DC rather than Looney Tunes. So yes. So when it comes to crossover titles, I think this is definitely one of the better crossover titles and is definitely worth picking up. And I really, really hope that they do something like this again in the future, because this stuff brought back a lot of great memories. Because as a kid, I grew up on all these Warner Brother cartoons, such as Looney Tunes and the Hanna-Barbera shows as well. It's just, you know, just reading something like this just brings back a huge amount of memories. So this is a quick review. I'm not really going to show what's inside the book because I just feel like, you know, you should go check it out for yourself. And, you know, I just want to give my thoughts on it. So yes. Anyway, please get this collected edition if you can't get your hands on all of these single issues, because those might have sold out or they're hard to come by. But yes, please buy this book because I think DC definitely should do more books like these and keep do a good play on nostalgia, because I feel like this is a good example that you can use nostalgia and still tell a great story, because one of the biggest problems with comic books and storytelling as a whole today, especially if you look at Disney Star Wars, is that a lot of these companies are using people's nostalgia and think that they don't have to tell a good story, which is total, bullshit. It's just crap right now, because you need to have a good story as well as if you want to use nostalgia. That's just a fact, and that's what I like about this is that it gives you the nostalgia that you experienced as a kid growing up on Looney Tunes cartoons, but it also tells a good and interesting story, and also is a very fun read. So this is definitely how crossovers should be, in the sense that you can have people's nostalgia but also tell a good story. Because just using nostalgia and not telling a good story is not going to sell a crossover. Because that was one of the biggest problems with crossover stories for a long time, was that they would basically just go off of the fact that it's two universes coming together, and that's all you needed to know, and you're going to buy the book and enjoy it, and not really care about the story. That's just not a very good business model. So I think that this is definitely a step in the right direction for using popular brands and crossing them over. And I seriously hope that after this, DC keeps doing it and does some more. Now, it shouldn't take over their main lines of comics, but I feel like there's definitely room to kind of do it as an annual thing, like maybe once a year or once every other year. But I think they should definitely keep it up and stuff. So anyway, this is just, your King Billy giving a quick little thoughts on my current pull on comics. And I hope you guys enjoy this video. And if you like this video, then please hit the like button and subscribe. And remember to also follow me on Twitter. My link to my Twitter account will be in my channel description. So anyway, this is your King Billy signing off.